So, the Nintendo Switch presentation just ended, and I have some notes here. And I'm going to try, this is something I'm trying something new here on my channel, and I'm going to be covering some current events throughout the year. I will do this for certain events throughout the year. I would have liked to have done it for CES, but I didn't. So I'm just starting with the Nintendo Switch announcement presentation. So first of all, let's start off with Nintendo. Nintendo has always been a very strong manufacturer, very strong presence in the portable or the handheld gaming market. As far as the home console gaming market, they've had their ups and downs. They had the Nintendo Wii, which was one of the most popular game systems ever. It's between that or one of their handhelds or the PlayStation 2 as the most popular game system of all time, selling the most units. So they came off of the Nintendo Wii, incredibly popular, all the way to the Nintendo Wii U, which is one of the worst-selling game consoles of all time. So, you know, they're coming into their next generation of consoles here with the Nintendo Switch, and they've always been a huge presence, like I said, in the portable or handheld market. So that's always been a huge strength of theirs. So they're coupling that with the Nintendo Switch, which is a portable / home console, and they're coupling it with another one of their strengths, which is their innovation. Nintendo has always been an innovator in the space. So that's, on paper, it looks great, where Nintendo is taking their strengths from the handheld market and coupling it with their strengths of innovation. Unfortunately, their innovation isn't always something that's welcome in a lot of ways. They try a lot of new things, and the game console landscape is a much more rich space. It's a richer world because Nintendo's in it. Whether they're successful is going to be remains to be seen. So let's go to the notes here. The first thing is the price and the release date. The release date is March 3rd, which is less than 2 months away. The price, $299. This is my first sticking point. $299 is right on par with an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4. Sometimes you can get a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One depending on the deals for a little bit less. I know around the last holiday where they had Black Friday deals, you could get one for $250, an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4. So that's going to be a sticking point. Obviously, the Nintendo Switch is a new console, next generation console, even though it's going to be probably less powerful than the current gen PlayStation and Xbox offerings. But that's neither here nor there. It's a next generation console. It's, let's see, Nintendo has had, what is this, the fifth or sixth? Let's see. They had the NES, the SNES, the Nintendo 64, the GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U. So this is the 8th console, for home console for Nintendo. So $299 is going to be difficult to swallow. I think that's going to make things very difficult because you're having a console, although very unique in a lot of ways. The Wii U is very unique as well. You're going to have a console that is new and unique, but it's going to have a high price point. Obviously, Nintendo doesn't lose money when they sell a system. They make money on everything they sell, so that's the reasoning behind it. But I really would have liked to have seen it competitively priced, and I don't mean it competitively meaning the same price as the other systems on the market. I really would have liked to have seen it $249 or less. I know that'd be pushing it to make it less, but price is going to be difficult because that's going to make or break this system. It's going to make it very difficult for it's going to be a difficult sale or difficult sell for Nintendo, I think. So they might be following in the footsteps of the Wii U. I don't know. That's just my first thoughts on the matter. I hope it's not the case because, like I said, the world is a richer, the gaming world is a richer place with Nintendo in it. There is going to be a more fleshed out online service, they said, that there's going to be more information on that down the line. That's good because I'm not a huge online player, but I know from people who are, they complain about the Nintendo online service with friend codes and things like that. So at least they're working on a lot of their shortcomings in that way. The region locking, to me, that speaks to me. I am somebody who loves the Fatal Frame series, and unfortunately it's been a Nintendo exclusive for the last 2 generations of consoles, and I really would have liked to have had the latest version of Fatal Frame in a physical copy, but in order to get that physical copy, really you'd have to import a copy from Japan or from PAL territories, and then you'd also have to get a system from there because everything's region locked. So I think it's about time that Nintendo has come on par with all the other game console makers out there, where they have gotten rid of their region locking. So that's a good thing. The Joy-Con controllers. Nintendo, again, is an innovator in the space. They mentioned, if you watched the Switch presentation, you know that they said that they went all the way back to the Famicom or the NES, saying, there's bits of the DNA of every console in the new Nintendo Switch. And the funny thing, on a side note, I thought was funny was when they had mentioned the GameCube, which they mentioned the handle on the GameCube, which to me spoke to the fact that the GameCube contributed pretty much nothing to the current thought process in Nintendo as far as their consoles are concerned. But the Joy-Con is basically a new generation Wiimote. It's, if you're not familiar, it's the sides to the Switch console, or when they're taken off, they can be put on a controller where you can make a controller out of it, or they can be used individually. I think it's a very unique idea. I love to see new things. I love innovation. My first thoughts on them is that they're a little small, they look minuscule, and they don't look comfortable to hold. They look very uncomfortable to hold. But then again, so was the NES controller, very uncomfortable to hold. I grew up on the NES, I should know. So Joy-Cons, mixed bag there. I think the Joy-Cons are very interesting looking. I think they're very, could, be the next generation of that Wiimote and could be cool. But they don't look comfortable at all, and they look very minuscule. Let's see. Another interesting thing I thought here was the Nintendo Switch can be, you can have competitive play with up to 7 other Switches, so 8 Switches in total, where you can have, people brought together. And that's something that's unique, that's only been seen in the handheld market up until now, so you're going to have a more powerful console, being able to do that networking with different consoles, and the games that could come up from that are pretty interesting. So I think that in and of itself, provided you have friends that have the Switch console as well, is a very interesting thing, where you can have 8 Switch consoles. The battery life, you would expect. They said it's 2.5 hours to 6.5 hours. So the battery life is something that obviously you'd want the most battery life possible, but that to me is to be expected. I'm not a huge handheld gamer, so I'm not somebody who has experience with that. I'm generally, if I'm gaming, it would be in my house, even on a handheld. I recently bought a Nintendo 3DS because I love 3D. But yeah, that's a mixed bag. You would obviously hope that it would be more, but hopefully that's going to be sufficient. So a couple other things, before we wrap this up. The Nintendo Switch presentation, there's going to be a lot of people that hate, I really wish that people would be more level-headed when they analyze these kind of things. But I thought the pluses of this presentation were they showed a lot of new IP. One of the games, 1-2 Switch, was very innovative. Whether it's fun or not, that remains to be seen. But I like to see new ideas brought to the table. So 1-2 Switch is really where you use the Switch, but you're communicating with another person. So it's a one-on-one battle. One person has a Joy-Con, the other person has a Joy-Con, and they've showed different things that you could do, and it's a competitive thing between the two people. And you're actually looking at the other person, and then the Switch is off to the side, and it scores you. One of which, just for example, if you don't know what I'm talking about, one of which was a drawing game, and not drawing like drawing things, drawing a gun. Drawing like a duel, drawing and shooting the other person. You take the Joy-Con, you draw and you shoot, and whoever got the shot faster was wins, and then it shows up on the Switch itself. So that's how it's scoring what you do. The HD rumble that they have on there, The force feedback that you're getting from the controller supposedly is better and is going to make you, if you hold the Joy-Con, enable you to feel that there's different things happening with it. They used a glass filled with ice as an example, where you could actually shook the Joy-Con and you felt like there was ice in there. So those are good innovations. It's going to be interesting to see how those things factor into 1-2 Switch, because I would imagine that HD Rumble is going to factor into it quite a bit, because you're not really looking at a screen. You're competing with somebody else. You are glancing off to the screen, but your main interaction is with that other person in a competition. So I liked the new IP. There wasn't a whole lot of new IP, but I did like the new IP. Another one was called Arms, which is sort of a boxing game where people had their arms were made of springs or something the equivalent. It was 28 minutes before they actually introduced current or IP that they've had already, which was Splatoon. So I thought that was good because it's a new console, new ideas, new IP fits in that very nicely. And then of course they went into the the Nintendo catalog, which they went into a Mario game, Super Mario Odyssey, and then they went into some of the third parties that are going to be supporting the platform. Skyrim is going to be on there. It's really not a game that I'm interested in. And then they ended up the presentation with the new Zelda game. So what do I think? The pluses, again, I love the innovation of Nintendo. It really is nice to see out there ideas being brought to market, and I hope that Nintendo can sell a lot of these consoles. Will they sell a lot of these consoles is something that remains to be seen. Again, with that price point, $300. And really not anything that is a system seller in my mind. There's going to be the Nintendo fanatics that are going to purchase it because it's the new Nintendo goodness, because the new Mario game is going to be coming out this year, supposedly, holiday of this year. So, and of course Zelda. But Zelda, the new Zelda game, can be played on the Wii U too. So there's no immediate need, if you have a Wii U, which there's not a lot of people who do, but if you have a Wii U, there's really no need to go out and get that Switch. They never really illustrated the benefits of playing Zelda on the Switch versus Zelda on the Wii U. So, to me, it doesn't speak to me. I value Nintendo. I think that it's, like I said, the world is a richer place. The gaming world is a richer place because of Nintendo, 100%. No one can really deny that. I love that they bring these new ideas to market. But nothing spoke to me personally that I need to go out and get the Switch, other than the fact that I love, if you're familiar with this channel, you know that I love gadgets, I love new tech and things like that. So I'd like to get my hands on the Switch to play it, to try out the Joy-Cons, to try out the portability of it, to try out every aspect of it. But the actual, as a technophile, yes, that appeals to me. As a gamer, nothing in the presentation spoke to me. And just to give you a little background so you know where I'm coming from, I grew up on the NES. I had an N64. I had a GameCube day one. I had a Nintendo Wii. And I currently have a Wii U, and I recently, like I said, bought a 3DS. So currently in my possession, I have a Wii, a Wii U, and a 3DS from Nintendo. So I'm not somebody who hates the company. I'm not somebody who has problems with the company. I have a history with the company. Like I said, I grew up on the NES. But nothing really, Nintendo doesn't speak to me personally. It's not something that I crave, that I love, or anything like that. The reason I have a Wii U is because I like Pikmin, so I wanted to play the Pikmin games. I like Mario Party, so I wanted to play those. I like Mario Kart. I think that's a fun game. I think that's universal across the board. People love that. I've yet to try Splatoon, but I'd like to try that. Bayonetta I have. I'd like to, I'm not quite there toward the end of the Fatal Frame series. I'm working on Fatal Frame 3 as we speak on my PlayStation 2. But I have Fatal Frame 4 on my Wii, which is a Japan-only release. Get into that at a later date, and then I want to get the Fatal Frame series the finale of it, which is not necessarily at the end of it, but the latest version of it on the Wii U. So that's really why I own a Wii U. And none of those games are, you know, nothing like those games were announced during this presentation. So will I get a Wii U on launch, or I'm sorry, will I get a Nintendo Switch on launch? Probably not. There's a slight chance I might, just for the technophile aspect of it, but probably not. I won't be getting a Switch for quite some time until the content is there, until something speaks to me that I have to get this experience and have it in my house. So, I think that's going to do it for this video. What do you think? This, you know, about this new format here, just kind of talking to you, trying to, you know, talk about things that are in the news. I'd like to do this a little bit more often. Let me know what you think. Did you like this? Did you not like this? My next video is also going to be a video game related video. It's going to be a Last Guardian review. So don't think that this channel is turning into a video game channel, because it is certainly not. But that's pretty much, I want to be more regular as far as producing content on this channel, and as my schedule is permitting for the next couple of days, I really only have time to publish that video, because there's really no edits in it, like there's going to be no edits in this video. Just, you know, crop it from beginning to end and then publish it. So, that's going to be the next thing that's on tap. So, you know, don't worry, this channel's not turning into a video game channel. It's something I enjoy doing when I have time playing games, and it does relate to tech, because video games, you know, are tied in with technology. They have been for quite some time, as far as new technology with optical media and things like that, as well as just, you know, the space. It's another gadget and things like that. So bear with me. If you're not into video games, that's fine. There's going to be much more content to come. So thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.